Hello and welcome back to All the Mods 9 Magical Mods playthrough Enchant the World. Last episode we got our demon wife and decorated the crypt a bit. I've decorated it a little bit more. As you can see, we've got a new picture in the background above the bed because we've decided to name our wife Albedo. It was the top comment, so that's what she's called. If you know who that is, then you know who that is. If you don't know who that is, then I guess maybe Google it, but I probably wouldn't bother. So yeah, anyway, why have I got the builder's wand? Well, this episode, we're going to be expanding the colony just a little bit. There's a couple of buildings I want to build from Minecolonies, and to do that, we're going to need to first clear some space, and second, give us some more room to build with some more guard towers. Here's a look at things so far. Man, it's so cool to see how much this little forest clearing has grown into our mage compound. So far we have the mage tower, the portal tower, mystical agriculture shrine, evil crypt, and our fairy tale style colony is slowly growing too. But this episode, what I want to do is finally build up the colony we have. There's an area over here next to a very small body of water that's ripe for some colony buildings. But before we get started on that, we have to do a little bit of land clearance. These trees have to go. And with them out of the way, it's time to make this area buildable. The boundaries of our colony don't quite reach far enough, so on the edge, we've got to build a couple of guard towers to make sure this land is going to be buildable. And these guard towers from the fairy tale style are nice and discreet. They don't have a massive footprint, but they do have a lot of charm. As always, level 1 is pretty dull. Just a basic wooden hut, but level 2 starts to get a little bit more interesting and sets the tone for what the building could be. A big old wooden mushroom. But the building only really comes into its own at level 3 and beyond, like most of the buildings from the fairy tale style. I really love these white walls on the guard tower and the blue rooftops. It really does look like a little mushroom guard tower. I only wish there was a way to make all my colonists look like kombucha mushroom people and have a complete mushroom-themed mycelial colony. Wouldn't that be amazing? Now, with the first guard tower built, we did the same over here next to the mage tower. And this expands our boundaries now to cover all of the new land we removed those trees from. I want this corner of the colony to be completely dedicated to agriculture. So let's get started with some Minecolonies. So absolutely perfect. These two guard towers have given us loads more room to build with, and this nice big area, it's kind of overshadowed by these floating islands. They make the area a little bit dark, but you know what? That's going to be fine. We could maybe move the islands? Not sure yet. But it looks like we've got a couple of guards in here as well. So let's go and take a look and see who our new guards are. We've got Rin Calvin. Hello, welcome to the colony, and hope you enjoy being a guard, my friend. And inside here we have, Dig Bits. How's it going? Guard number 2. So the guard towers were easy, also clearing the woods wasn't too hard now that I have Flight Ritual from Ars Nouveau. But what are we going to be building from Minecolonies? Well, there's a couple of things I want to do. Number 1, it's really hard to get fish in modded Minecraft. There are buildings you can build like fish farms and things, but most of them are kind of tech. And I don't want to have to go around with a fishing rod, so we're definitely going to build a fisherman's hut from Minecolonies. Now, it's a very easy craft. Fisher's hut needs a fishing rod, which we'll have to build, obviously. But the rest of it, very simple, and we can plonk this over by the water. This is why we cleared the area out over by the water, because yeah, there's nowhere else realistically to put the fisherman's hut. But this thing is a real good looking building. I love a lot of the buildings from the fairy tale style, and this one is no different. And here we go, this is level 1, looking a bit primitive, but as we go up in the levels, we'll push it out a bit. From 2 to 3 to 4 to 5, you can see this is a really cool looking building. And it looks like the whole theme is this is supposed to be a giant fantasy lily pad on the water. Pull the trigger on this, swim out over here, and make sure Jordan B has all he needs to get this done. But again, The build options, it's a very simple build like all the fairy tale buildings. Level 1 is no sweat. So here we go with the Fisherman's Hut build. What I love about the fairy tale style is that a lot of the buildings are just giant versions of plants, natural flora. The guard tower is just a giant mushroom, and the Fisherman's Hut retains this theme. The entire thing is built as a giant lily pad. Now okay, at level 1 that's a pretty hard sell. Like all the other buildings, the first level is made exclusively out of wood, and so it really just looks like a big, ugly circle. But at level 2, we can start to see it slowly come together. There's a lot more decoration being added to the rooftop, and the building is gradually coming to life. But it's level 3 where things really start to shine. Now, to me, there are two ways of building in Minecraft. You can take the architect's approach and use clean lines, solid structures. It's my preferred style of building, and it creates a slick, clean, good-looking building. But the other way is a more painterly style, and that's what the Fisherman's Hut achieves. Painterly means you don't really have to worry about symmetry or making mistakes. It's like using paint, you just slap it down and see what happens. There's no rules, just gradients. And as you can see with the roof, it's a cool way of building. And by gradients I mean, yeah, take a look at this roof. It uses all kinds of pinks to create this kind of like noisy, natural effect. It's a really cool way of building that I'd love to try my hand at myself. But here we go, as the rooftop is finished, the hut is complete. Let's get in game. And here we go, the finished, well not quite finished, level 3 though, is pretty much high enough for us at the moment, but the Fisherman's Hut is in position. Now, if we're going to start getting buildings and need jobs for these guys, it's time we started treating our colonists like real people. Ugh, well yeah, it's got to be done. That means, of course, we need to feed, shelter, and clothe them. Now, they come with their own clothes, so we can tick that off the list, but we can definitely give them somewhere to live, so it's about time I finally built a tavern. Now, once again, the tavern is not a tricky thing to build. Here we go. Very simple materials, got everything except the barrel, which we can kind of just cobble together. There we go. And boom, a tavern. Now we need to find a place to put this, but first we need to see how big this thing really is. Taverns can sometimes be pretty huge. Here we go, fundamentals. So I'm a bit worried about that, but oh yeah. So this is the Fairy Tale Tavern, and yeah, you know what? It's not actually that bad. It goes out the back quite far, but where are we going to put this? Where is a good spot? So do you know what? What I think we're going to do is put it over here next to the builder's hut behind our mystical agriculture setup. So arrow keys make this so much quicker. Turn it around. Yeah, somewhere behind here in the forest, raised up a little bit, is going to look pretty good, I reckon. We're going to have to clear out some trees, but that's nothing we can't handle. And it's about time our dudes had somewhere to live. So the tavern is going to get built. I don't think we can get this level 3 because it only has 3 levels and that's going to be quite tricky, but level 2 shouldn't be too hard. Oh man, yeah, and it looks pretty good at level 2 anyway, and not too different at level 3. So level 2 is a good place to aim for. Okay, well this looks good, let's build it. So here's the tavern, the final time-lapse of the episode. It's about time we gave our dudes somewhere to live. They've been homeless this entire time. But no longer will they have to bed down in the town hall. Now they have a place they can come to rest. But also, we're going to start to see new dudes appear in here that we can hire into the colony. And those are going to be the names that Patreon and YouTube members have added to the list. The build is pretty cool, but again, it won't really look the business until we hit level 3. And since that's the max level for the tavern, it's going to be a little bit on the pricey side as far as materials go for that. But even so, this is a massive milestone, but it is a milestone that comes with a little bit of baggage. We're going to start to see now colonists get sick, but also we're going to have to prepare for our first potential raid. Okay, now we're talking, so we'll probably have to get rid of this tree so we can get away up to the tavern, but this thing looks pretty okay at level 1. Now we are going to try and go to level 2, but we have to see if the materials are within our grasp. Okay, nothing crazy here. Oh, what's a trumpet door? Okay, a trumpet door is trumpet planks from a trumpet tree. What the hell is a trumpet tree? Well, luckily enough, I think that Emma, our market vendor, should have a trumpet tree, but beyond that, everything seems pretty okay in terms of materials. Do you have for us a trumpet tree? No. Okay, so how do we get trumpet logs? Okay, so to find a trumpet tree, we cannot use the marketplace. We have to actually find this thing. It's a frosty trumpet tree, serene, warm, sunny, or fiery. And actually, if these things look anything like the icons, they could be really cool trees to have around our compound. And the leaves look quite pretty as well. But how are we going to find a trumpet tree? Well, a look at Google shows us that these can actually spawn in all kinds of vanilla biomes, and the different biome depends on the color of tree you'll find. And apparently Plains as a biome has some of that, so there's one pretty close, only 400 blocks in this direction. So a bit of Mage Leap should have us sorted there, and if we can find this Plains, we might be able to find a trumpet tree? I have a feeling that this thing's going to stand out. Oh, here we go, sunny trumpet leaves. So this is kind of like a Plains biome? Yeah, biome Plains, and it looks like this is the tree we're looking for. Tricky to find unless you know what you're looking for, but these are quite common actually. I think I've seen these trees around. So we'll ulti-mine the leaves. If we're lucky, we'll get a sapling. And of course, the trumpet logs are going to be important as well. Amazing. So we'll gather up the rest of these saplings, and then let's get home and build this tavern up to level 2. Oh, hey, take a look at this. So now that we have the tavern in position, it looks like our colonists have actually had some babies. We've got Dwarfius B over here. I guess Jordan B was the dad there. And his brother, maybe like a twin. Yeah, there we go. And Pesty Carlson. Are we going to say they're brothers? Yeah, sure. They kind of look like brothers. Yeah, we'll say they are. So that's amazing. We're actually getting new colonists into the compound. And these... Oh, wait. And look, it's Leo Derard as well. How's it going, my friend? Very cool. Now, why are these guys following me around? Go away. I'm not your dad. He's outside. Go and bother him. Anyway, let's get this building upgraded. So here we go. Level 1 to level 2. The building is going to look pretty cool. It'll come into its own at level 3, but level 2 is still a really solid milestone. We're going to need to get this building connected though, with a mossy cobblestone pathway up to the entrance. And also the back and the sides of the building are going to need a little bit of trimming as well. The dirt doesn't really match up, but those are things that are super easy to fix with a shovel and a little bit of elbow grease. I've been nervous as well about cutting too heavily into the tree line. We want to make sure this compound is still in a forest clearing, and if we're not careful, we'll deforest the entire place and lose all of that charm. But it's also really hard removing these big trees. They are so close to each other that when you chop down one, you often mess up half of another one. So careful pruning is required. But a swoop around the building to show it off, and it looks amazing. I love the purple roof. The back garden is also really nice, and it's going to look even nicer once we tidy it up back there. And as we swoop through the window into the interior, you can see there's a lot of living space in here, and this place is going to be full of colonists in no time at all. Anyway, let's get back in game. So finally, a tavern is in position. Oh yeah, and this is going to be really good news for our colonists who have been itching for a place to sleep since the dawn of time. Dwarfius B over here, looks like he's grown up, and oh, he lives up here with Drury the Whole. So we are going to be expanding our colony. It's not our prime focus, but over time we're going to get this thing built and get a few dudes in here with some helpful buildings that are going to help us towards our goal, like for example the Fisherman's Hut. So let's hop on over now to the town hall and see who's hanging out, because basically the guys that were living in here shouldn't be doing that anymore. In fact, they're probably going to go and live over at the tavern. I can already see a guy floating around there now, so that's pretty good news. But what does the town hall say about our colony numbers? How many dudes have we got lying around? Yeah, here we go. So these are the dudes so far. Dig Bits, Dwarfius B, Jordan B, Leo Derard, Pesty Carlson, Rin Calvin, and Scotty Vandenberg. And of course, if you want to add your name to this list of colonists that can join our colony, you can do so by becoming a Patreon or a YouTube member. Anyway, so we've got 7 dudes now, and 2 of them are archers, 1's a builder, 0 druids, okay good, 1 knight, 1 fisherman, and 0 children, and 2 dudes are unemployed. So let's go over there and make sure the fisherman has a fishing rod to get busy with his stuff. Basically, we want to get a fisherman's hut so we can get lots of different types of fish, because this mod pack has a slice of life, which is a mod that gives me more hearts for eating more different varied types of food. And fish are going to be a really easy way for us to achieve that goal. But that's not all we're going to want to do. Basically, I also want to farm as many different crops as I can. So what I could do is build a Minecolonies farm. However, the Minecolonies farm is really good at getting a lot of one type of food. A Minecolonies farm gets up to 5 different fields. But each one of those fields can only have 1 crop. So that means at maximum you can get 5 different types of food. That's not really going to cut it for what we're going for. However, what would work perfectly is if we get another one of these, another whirlisprig garden, and instead of all of this kind of mess of fauna and logs, cocoa, trees, vines, and botania flowers, instead what we can do is arrange it as just a cropland with every single type of seed that we've gathered so far. That sounds like a pretty good idea and a good way of getting food. So we're going to put down another whirlisprig farm. Shouldn't be too hard to do. I think I might have some whirlisprig charms in here somewhere. I'll have something to do with whirlisprigs. There we go, yeah, a whirlisprig token, which is used to make the charm. So this should be everything: the diamond, the seed, the spruce, the birch, the oak, the mage bloom, a mage bloom seed, a source gem, and then the whirlisprig token in the middle. Boom, and there we go. We're going to get a couple of tokens. So if I remember correctly, we use the whirlisprig charm on a flower, and it will use the area that's around 10 blocks around it to farm. So let's map this out and get touch dig out, use the hammer to get rid of some of this dirt. Oh, amazing. So efficient. So we've marked off an area now that's a 20 by 20 square, with the center being where we're going to put the whirlisprig. Now, instead of going all fancy and rebuilding the garden that we have over there, because it was pretty cool, but it was a bit elaborate and not ideal for what we're doing with crops, we're going to keep this still nice and flat. However, we are going to grab the builder's wand, and we're going to go into my own custom pack, scans, and we want the corner wall section that we've designed. Here we go, a wall corner. And this is going to be a nice discreet way to just have the corner sections so we can mark off the garden, but it's not too overbearing. We're just going to have the corner sections and then crops in the middle. So we'll get the builder to build all of these. They're very simple, just some diorite, iron bars, and stone brick. Okay, amazing. So yeah, it looks pretty cool now. Now we have to work out what kind of seeds we want to put down. And we basically want to use every single seed that we have that's going to give us a workable crop. So I'll put some of this stuff into the computer that I don't need for now. Oh my god, wait. Oh, my Benza Abernathy got stuck in a wall. So there's a serious problem with people getting stuck in walls. And I think it's over here at the tavern. What's going on? Where's the death trap? Where are the gravestones? Where are these people getting stuck? Is it in the garden? These guys are having a great time. Where are these guys getting stuck? Where are the graves? Not in here. Everything looks okay. Not outside here. Where are the gravestones? Maybe there are no graves because they got stuck inside walls. But it's a bit of an enigma. We're going to have to fix this because otherwise our colonists are going to die all over the shop. Oh, yeah, what's happening? I think I know what it is. Yeah, here it is. Yeah, Purple Vink just died right before our eyes. And I think what it might be is these seats. So we're going to remove these purple seats because, we don't need them anyway. So we'll do that for now. And fingers crossed we won't get any more deaths over here. So back to the planting. We're looking for every single type of food that we can that has a seed. We're going to skip on the Sushi Go crafting seeds because they're a bit more convoluted, but we could use some beetroots, certainly some corn, and so on and so forth. Let's get all of these seeds into position. So one wheat never hurt anybody, then the peanuts, the beetroot, and we've got way more crop space than we have actual seeds right now. But that's okay because we can also go and buy a bunch of seeds from Emma over at the market. So let's do it. What are we looking for? Well, there's some nice seeds in here. Oh my god, there's loads of amazing seeds. Look at all these Croptopia ones. Now we haven't gone the whole distance. There's still a little bit of room around the edge where we could add some more crops. But for now, I think this is going to be enough. This is going to be big enough, I hope at least, because there's a lot of seeds. But basically, if we have one of every single kind, the whirlisprigs are going to gather us a real nature's bounty. And this is absolutely going to be the best way for us to get more hearts. With all these different types of fruits, vegetables, spices, etc., we'll be able to make so many different interesting foods. Oh my god, there are just so many seeds. Look at this. I've got like 3 inventories worth, and I'm not even halfway down the list. Look at this. Crazy. Also, not forgetting fruit trees. We could get some fruit trees on the go and gather up those as well. In fact, they could be something interesting to put around the edge of the whirlisprig garden over here. We are spending all of our emeralds on this, but we are also effectively getting every single type of food, almost, in the game, which is pretty cool, pretty crazy. Okay, so that's almost every single type of farmland crop grown, and we haven't even used half of our farmland space. Now it's time to think about saplings, but also, one cool thing about whirlisprigs is, if you put down lily pads of fertility in their gardens, they actually create these and farm them. So we've got 84 over here, which is absolutely crazy. And we're going to put a few of those down to help speed up the growth of these crops. And they look pretty cool as well, so they're quite good decoration. There we go, every little helps. Now let's get the emeralds and take a look at some of these saplings. There could be some really juicy ones over here. Now, we're going to have to pick and choose between saplings because we can't have too many of them. What are the most important fruits? Well, I do love a good orange, so we're going to get an orange tree. And I reckon we're going to go for in total 9 trees. I think we can probably fit that. Walnuts sound pretty cool though. We're also going to get some pears. Apricots are amazing. And it's not quite the all the mod star, but why not a star fruit sapling? That sounds pretty cool as well. And oh yeah, we've got to have bananas. Absolutely must have bananas. And lemons. Shout out to Cave Johnson. Coconuts, yes please. And that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So the final sapling is going to be... yeah, a mango. So let's get these into position as well. Now, 9 slots. I think that means basically we can fit 3 trees on each side. We've probably got room for more, but let's be conservative to start with. Now let's get some bone meal and see if these things actually grow, because they're very close to the crops. So bones, oh my god, we got thousands of bones. So loads of bone meal, why not? Oh. And there we go, it's far from finished. Aesthetically, we need to add some fences, some decorations, maybe just like some bone meal here and there for extra grass lying around. Although, oh no wait, of course, the pièce de résistance, we've got to put down the actual whirlisprig charm. So we put this on the flower then becomes the whirlisprig blossom, and we get a whirlisprig. He should appear pretty soon. There we go, we'll give him another one. Oh my god, somebody else died in a wall. Joey Bobo Head 101. Oh my god, rest in peace, my friend. We're gonna have to fix what's going on over at the tavern. There's some weird serial killer over there plastering people into the walls. It's just not cool. But yeah, the whirlisprig, again, only really works if it has enough sauce. So we need another sauce jar. Bit of barbecue sauce jars over here. Got loads of these. Sauce jar almost full. The Dominion one, which might be in my backpack. No, it must be in the computer. There it is. And we reserved a space for the jar up on top of this weird stone brick structure. There we go. And we should be in range of this splitter over here as well. So we right click to take from here, and we left click to deposit over here. Is it going to work? Yeah, look at that mana soup on over. And look at this, already the crops are growing crazy quick because of these lily pads of fertility. This is super amazing. That could be a pretty cool way of doing things. But also what I'm going to need to do is get even more crops planted down over here as well. Maybe move some of the trees around so they're not quite so close to the crops, like this walnut tree. Could be a bit higher, and likewise the banana tree over here should be a bit higher as well. But there we go, my dudes. That has been this episode of Enchant the World. This episode we built a couple more guard towers, the Fisherman's hut on the edge of the colony, of course the tavern up to level 2. It's a bit of a death trap, but it is in position now. And of course, this brand new whirlisprig garden, where we're going to have all of these crops ready for next episode, where we're going to design Hell's Kitchen. We're going to go into the crypt, get our wife, Albedo, to help us run a kitchen where we can grow as many foods as we can to get our health up. Once my health is sorted and my armor is sorted and upgraded, we can perhaps investigate some other dungeons and things. Like, for example, going back and finally defeating the Twilight Forest. A massive thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. And until next time, my friends, take care.